everyone, it's John from WoTUp, and welcome back to another video. And we have a Season 3 casting leak for you folks today. Yes, another WoTUp exclusive. These don't happen very often, but when they do, it's kind of special. So if you're new to the channel, you don't know what we do here, we talk Wheel of Time all the time. Anything and everything to do with the Sony and Amazon show, merchandising, or book series, that's what we talk about. All the way from the official news from Sony and Amazon themselves, up to and including rumors and leaks like the one we have for you today. Nothing too big or too small to chat about here in the channel. Now, if you like that sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to the channel and, of course, hit that like button. Now, I'm going to do this video in two separate parts. The first part will be relatively spoiler-free. We're going to talk just a bit about the actor, which role he's cast in, and what that character does in the book series, but in very general terms. I'm not going to ruin too many things. Then I'll give a spoiler warning, probably about a quarter of the way through the video, and then we'll go into a deep dive of the character, talk about what this means for Season 3, and I'll give my thoughts on how this particular character will fit into Season 3 and forward in the show, because, let's face it, some things are a little bit different than the book series when it comes to introducing characters, and that is the case for this particular character. All right, so the actor in question is Jared Dorick. He's been acting since 2015, and he's done a ton of different things. So he's done television, he's done movies, he's done voiceovers for video games, and he's done a lot of stage work as well, and he is just an impeccable actor. Now, one of the things that Amazon has done really, really well when casting for the Wheel of Time is they pick actors who know their craft, and they pair them with either much more experienced actors and actresses or less experienced actors and actresses. And in doing so, they really bring out the best of both sides. So someone with less experience on screen with someone with more experience, maybe they don't have the bad habits that someone with more experience has, and they can kind of elevate each other. And also, those lesser experienced actors and actresses can learn from those people who have a ton of credits under their belt. Now, Jared is an impeccable actor. He's probably best known for a couple of different roles. You probably noticed him in Underworld Blood Wars. It was a really small role. He was a control room vampire, but it was probably one of the biggest budget movies he's done, as well as a 2-episode stint on Carnival Row as Grayson. Now, as Grayson, he was absolutely phenomenal. He did a very, very good job playing that character, and Jared is one of those actors that really kind of takes up space when he's on screen or on stage. Your eyes are drawn to him, and you want to pay attention to what he's doing. He really, really is sort of a master at his craft. And Amazon, like I said earlier, is a really, really fine pick of actors and actresses for the show, and they really do pick out those people that really know what they're doing and can act well for each of their characters. All right, so Jared's going to be playing a Whitecloak Questioner by the name of Jaichim Carridin. Now, Carridin is a smaller role in the book series, but he has an integral part of a couple of different plot lines that really kind of cement some things together, and it really gives some added flavor to certain elements of the story. Now, I can't say too much about him without going into spoilers, but I will say that having him introduced in Season 3 versus Season 2, which is where he would have been introduced if they had done some of the plot lines from The Great Hunt, makes a little bit more sense considering the direction they're going with Season 3. I know it's a little confusing, but I can't give too many spoilers away because we're in the spoiler-free section. Either way, Jared's going to be playing a Whitecloak in Season 3, and I think he's going to absolutely crush the role, and I can't wait to see how he does with it. Now, that being said, we're going to get into the spoiler section of the video now so we can talk about Jaichim Carridin a little bit more and how he's going to fit into Season 3. So, spoiler warning. If you have not seen the first 2 seasons of The Wheel of Time streaming right now on Prime Video, it's episodes 1 through 8 of both seasons, or read the first 8 books. Yes, that's the first 8 books of the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson. That's the Eye of the World up to and including A Path of Daggers. Be forewarned, I'm going to ruin plot points and character arcs from both of those mediums. All right, so spoiler warning's done. I'm ruining things from the first 8 books. I'm going to talk about Carridin's entire plotline, basically, and there's some juicy stuff in there, so you've been warned. Now, Carridin was a Whitecloak Questioner. We talked about that already, but he was also a Dark Friend. In fact, he was introduced in The Great Hunt, the second book of the series, as Bors, the man at the Dark Friend Social. So the entire Dark Friend Social was from his point of view, and that's where we got a bunch of hints about later things that happened in the story. Now, we did get to see a version of the Dark Friend Social on screen, but it wasn't exactly the same, and Bors may have been there because it looked like there was a Whitecloak that was there, but we don't really know for sure. We have no idea which characters were hooded in that scene. We may find out later on as the series goes on. Maybe one of those questions they eventually answer, or maybe they won't. But either way, if they had followed the events of the books exactly, he would have been introduced in The Great Hunt for a very, very short period of time. Because he was sent to Almoth Plain with orders to seize it. So basically, Pedro Nile, the Lord Captain Commander of the Whitecloaks, sent Carridin there in charge to take over all of Almoth Plain. And that's why the Whitecloaks were there, which was not really something that was super explained in the show. And Carridin was omitted from that storyline completely. Geoffrey Bornhold then kind of defied his orders and went into Falm to fight the Shan-Chan, and Carridin went back to Amador, the stronghold of the Whitecloaks, sort of in disgrace. Not really disgrace, but he failed. So he went back there. At that point, we're looking at more of the Dragon Reborn side of it, so we're talking third book. He was told that if he didn't kill Rand, that one of his family members would die every single month. And that was by Fade. So Fade actually went into Amador, talked to Carridin, told him this would happen, and it shook him. So for the rest of the time of his books, he's kind of walking around with like an ulcer, almost, because he doesn't want to die. He doesn't really care too much about his family, but he doesn't want to die. And once his family's gone, he's going to die. So at that point, we're getting into things that may happen in season 3. So we know Tanchico is definitely a storyline in season 3, and Carridin was heavily embroiled in the Tanchico storyline in the books, but he was also embroiled in an Abu Dar storyline. And there's been some talk that those two storylines are going to be kind of combined together, and that sort of makes sense, especially since Red Annian Intelligence released a casting yesterday of Lady Cheyenne, who is a dark friend that happens to take part in the Abu Dar storyline. So, how does Carridin fit into these things? Well, he basically goes into Tarabon and he takes over the Panarch's palace. So, he is essentially acting as a goodwill ambassador for the Whitecloaks while securing power. While there, he, of course, fails in his mission to do so, is ousted from the palace and sent back to Amador again, sort of in, not disgrace again, but failure. It's sort of a recurring theme for Carridin. And then he's sent to Abu Dar. Now, while he's in Abu Dar, he's basically told to do a bunch of different things. At this point, I believe he's working for Samael, one of the Forsaken, and he is told to find a cache of Angreal and Sa'Angreal, which is part of the reason why other people like Nynaeve and Elaine are in Abu Dar at the time to find these the Angreal and Sangreal, but more so they're looking for the Bowl of the Winds to correct the weather, but that happens to be in with that cache. But Carridin is there basically to kidnap Elaine and take Elaine back to Amador, because Elaine's mother is in Amador with Pedro Nail. Like, there's a whole lot of moving parts going on here. So Carridin's working for a bunch of different people all at the same time in the book series. Now, eventually he fails at that as well. So he is then given to a dark friend and taken to Camelin and eventually murdered. So his story doesn't end well in the books. I don't think they're going to do all of that in the show. So, for example, because we have Lady Cheyenne automatically going to be in season 3 because of the leak from Red Annian Intelligence yesterday, likely we're getting the Abu Dar storyline, but that hasn't been mentioned by anybody yet. And I said in some of my other videos that we know for sure they're doing at least 4 storylines, including Tanchico, and Tanchico and Abu Dar sort of kind of mirror themselves in similar fashions, such as the storylines in The Great Hunt and The Dragon Reborn do with Rand. So from what we've seen in season 2, I think they're going to take those 2 storylines and cram them together. So I think we're going to see Carridin for the first time in Tanchico, because we know Tanchico's a thing for season 3 for sure. I think he's probably going to be there under the orders of one of the Forsaken, the new ones we're going to see in the next season. Maybe Samael, maybe someone else. I really don't know. I think he's going to be ordered to take Elaine at one point or another from that place and cart her back to Amador for the Whitecloaks, perhaps. And I think he's going to fail in these endeavors, and then at that point it's going to accelerate his storyline to be killed. I don't think he'll be given to anybody. I don't think he'll be taken anywhere else, but I think he'll be killed right there in this season at the conclusion of the Tanchico storyline, because he failed in his mission. Do I think we're going to get to see the whole Fade and him talking? Yes, I think that's how they're going to introduce him as a dark friend. He's going to be talking with the Fade, and they're going to threaten to kill his family unless he kills Rand. So while he's in Tanchico, he obviously isn't going to be able to kill Rand, because Rand is likely going to be in the waste, but he's going to see his friends. He's going to go after them. So I think that's where that whole part of his storyline and how he's going to fit into season 3. And I don't think it's likely we'll see him in season 4 and going forth. He'll be one of those characters that is sort of Leandrin's pawn, Forsaken's pawn. He introduces to a little bit more to the Dark Friend side of things, a little bit more to the Whitecloak side of things. That's my guess and my take on what's going to happen for season 3 with this particular character. But either way, I think Jared's going to absolutely knock it out of the park. from what I've seen of some of his things he's already done, I think he would make a perfect Carridin, and the casting team has basically struck gold once again. So let me know in the comments down below what you folks think. How do you like Jared as Carridin? How do you think season 3 plot lines are going to go? Do you think they're going to kind of combine Ebudar and Tanchico? I'm going to do a whole video on that, because today was sort of an abbreviated rush through it to talk about how I think he's going to fit into season 3. But there's a whole lot of moving parts and elements there, including some things that I already know that were leaked from the show, that I can kind of weave into a leaks video to talk about how I think those two storylines are going to be merged together. But let me know your comments on it down below. Anyway, thank you so very much for sticking with us here to the very end. Here's to many more.